In other news tonight, the Trump White House defying subpoenas over its nepotism scandal regarding security clearances. Chairman Cummings warning he may use his power to hold the Trump aide in contempt over a problem that goes all the way back to Jared Kushner, who's taking a victory lap today about the Mueller probe, claiming the investigation was worse for democracy than Russia's actual online interference.
You look at, what Russia did, buying some Facebook ads to try to sow dissent and do it, and it's a terrible thing. But I think the investigations and all of the speculation that's happened for the last 2 years has had a much harsher impact on our democracy than a couple of Facebook ads.
Then a couple Facebook ads. I'm joined by Vicky Ward, author of Kushner, Inc. Greed, Ambition, Corruption, the extraordinary story of Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump. Tell us how you really feel.
So, look, I think what you saw this morning was a masterclass by Jared Kushner. He is an incredibly plausible liar. The best.
A plausible liar.
I mean, you have to separate style from substance. His style was smooth, polished. This is what makes him so dangerous. You listen to what he says, and it's terrifying, right?
Well, what did you think of? He's still on the talking points of undermining Russian interference. What does that tell you about the whole Kushner enterprise that you've reported on? Because the better argument for them, and in fairness, they have a good argument, it's that Russia did a bad thing and Mueller found the Trump folks didn't help.
Yes.
Why isn't he saying that?
Well, I think what's so interesting about what Jared said this morning, there are echoes of what Rudy Giuliani said on Sunday, sort of to your dismissing any communications with Russia. Well, Giuliani said something on Sunday, well, what's the problem? I mean, I'm paraphrasing. If we talk to a couple of people, Russians want to give us information.
It can be difficult to paraphrase Rudy Giuliani.
Right. And here you have Jared Kushner basically saying, oh, the whole thing just boils down to a couple of Facebook ads.
So do you know why? Do you know, I mean, you spent so much time reporting on this. I'm curious, is that because of a stubbornness or an inability to update?
Well, I think that, my whole book is about the fact that Jared Kushner has a disdain, that I think there were traces that came through, a disdain for rules. You had him saying this morning, he'd been perfect, was the word he used, when it came to complying with ethics requirements. Well, I don't think that's, if you look at checked history, that's actually not true. He also
you're saying he doesn't like the rules.
Well, I mean, look at what happened. Yeah. He didn't fill out his security clearance.
Well, that reminds me of, I don't know if you've heard the G-Eazy track 1942. Do you know that song?
No, come on, hit me.
The chorus is, I don't follow rules and they don't like that.
Really?
Right, but if you're a rock star, it's kind of more okay than if you're responsible for America's national security. The other person that's echoing you is a Fox News anchor who was really quite clear about his views of what Kushner has said today. Take a look.
Jared Kushner's diminishment of Russian interference is both disingenuous and deceptive. The attack on our democracy involved much more than the purchase of a few Facebook ads. From the Mueller report, we now know Russians made contact with multiple members of the Trump campaign, including Jared Kushner, attempting to change American policies.
Good for Shep Smith, right? I mean, he called it right. Can't argue with that. Although I would say for Jared Kushner, it's probably not great when you lose Fox News, right? Because you kind of reach the end of the line. But, I think one of the most interesting things that he said today, Ari, was about his security clearance. He said, there were no further problems. He'd been completely vetted. Well, that's interesting because according to all the reports I've read, Jared Kushner couldn't get a TSA pre-check at this point, let alone a proper White House clearance, unless his father.
Vicky, I think that was what is known as a sick burn.
Yes. But I think, coming back, I mean, it is a really serious point, right? Jared Kushner comes out, he talks to the Time 100 audience. In this he is, as Shep Smith said, actually disingenuous and deceptive. And at the same time, we have this really serious issue going on where the White House is stopping the guy, Karl Klein, the guy who was involved in giving Jared, the security clearance process. the White House is stopping him testify.
Right.
This is
And-
kind of
and
like
this is
mafia
important.
behavior.
Well, this is the part that all my bad jokes aside, this is not a joke,
No.
and this is national security, this is nepotism in the White House, and it's all of the parts of it that may not be criminal, and so we report that accurately, but that go to who's in charge of the federal government right now, and as you put it, and as Shep put it, whether they have a disdain for the actual rules that are there to protect our safety. Vicki Ward, always good seeing you.
Thank you,
Thanks
Ari.
for coming by. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.